documents.
Okay, I am back. It's been a minute. It's been a minute, but I am back. I am back, and we doing this daily. We dropping a video every day, every 2 days, and I will be giving my full opinion on this. I gave my opinion on this on Instagram, but I wasn't really speaking on this. I was just speaking on in general why people should get out the streets before it gets to head, because when it gets to head, it's no return. And when you get out, when you in the streets and you feel me, did a lot and you still free, like you want to keep your freedom and you don't want to be locked down, for the ones that know how it feel to be locked down. So you want to stay away from people that is, you feel me, not trying to be free or want to keep doing, you feel me, stuff and just keep taking a chance, because when they in there, everybody regret it. So I was saying, get out the streets and keep people from around you. But if people still trying to bring that nonsense around you, and if something happened, I recommend you to tell, but never snitch. Now, if you agree to something, you still in the streets, you gotta hold that down. So we ready to see if Rodney Sosa told or snitch. We ready to see if Rodney Sosa told or snitch officially. I never looked into this. I will give my full opinion at the end, but we're gonna look in this. I'll be saying things in the middle. But let's see if Rodney Sosa told or he snitched. Did he have something to do? Did he know what these people was doing? Was he in the mix with these people? Or did he not know nothing about what was going on? Now, let's get into it.
That spread online, identifying Baltimore rapper YNE Sosa, whose legal name is Keith Ambush, as a cooperating witness, expected to testify in a murder for hire prosecution. The leak turned a criminal case into a witness safety emergency. Years before that report, Ambush built a public identity around Gilmore homes, music, street feuds, and survival. In archive footage,
I ain't gonna keep pausing, but just so y'all know, I went to elementary school in Gilmore Homes, the projects. I used to be fighting up there every day. No BS, y'all. When I was in elementary school, I don't know. In middle school, I kind of turned it down, but in elementary school, bro, I was fighting every day. Me and LGB Muck, I don't know if he still remember me, but man, he was like really cool up there before I left and went down Virginia. Dude named Weenie Wing, he be up Garrison. I know a couple people, I knew remember a couple people from up there, but yeah, I definitely used to be in the projects, bro, when I was in elementary school, in the project apartments, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
he described living through repeated shootings. On October 15, 2024, Baltimore prosecutors announced indictments against Cornell Moore and Keith Russell, alleging a murder-for-hire enterprise linked to 7 homicide victims. An indictment is an accusation, not a finding of guilt. Among the deaths prosecutors connected to that case were Angel Smith and Yamo Montague. They were shot on May 12, 2022. Smith was 7 months pregnant. Doctors delivered her baby before she died. This documentary asks how a rapper's public story collided with an active prosecution and what was put at risk when protected material escaped the courtroom. Before his name appeared in court reporting, Keith Ambush was better known to listeners as YNE Sosa. His music was rooted in Baltimore, and his public image repeatedly returned to Gilmore homes on the...
Now, if y'all don't know who YNE Sosa, just one more time to start the video, bro, like, since like 2017, he was going up. Young Boy brought him up on stage when he brought to Baltimore. Like, he was real connected. He was always like talking crazy on live, like just a real street type dude. You feel me? Like always talking about how he done got hit and like how he was ready to get acted. I actually liked him. You feel me? The way he was like, you feel me? Coming up and how he was, the energy he had. But like I said, man, a lot of dudes that be acting all crazy, they be the ones that snitch at the end of the day. That's why I keep telling dudes get out the streets. But I don't keep pausing it, just saying, man, like, be the craziest ones every time, bro.
City's west side. The release history gives that story a firm starting point. An artist upload dates Ball Together to March 25th, 2018. Apple Music lists the song on the 2018 project Straight Out of Public Housing. The catalog later expanded through projects including Straight Out of Public Housing 2, If Pain Was a Person, and If Pain Was a Person 2. Those dates establish a body of work. They do not by themselves prove how popular any record became, but they show that the career was real, sustained, and invisible long before the current court controversy. In a February 11, 2022 Off the Porch interview, Ambush said he had only been rapping for several years and described his music as moving quickly. That is his account of the rise, not a measured chart claim. One recent YouTube viewer remembered him this way. Forgot all about Shay. I ain't heard his name in years. He probably the most entertaining Baltimore rapper of all time. That comment is opinion, not evidence, but it captures part of the public persona. A performer remembered for being direct, unpredictable, and inseparable from the story surrounding him. Ambush's interviews often move between music and survival. In the 2022 conversation, he said he survived 19 gunshot wounds within a single year. That number has not been independently verified in the available police record, so it belongs to him as a first-person statement.
Oh, okay. I got hit 19 times in a year.
The distinction matters. A documentary can let a subject speak without converting every statement into a settled fact. The interview also shows how violence became part of his self-presentation. He described being shot, losing people close to him, and continuing to record. Official music video footage from Doing My Thing Now, Thug Story, Dead End, Hardaway, or Trust Nobody can establish the artist without borrowing every image from an older documentary. This is also where the story's central tension appears. The same public visibility that helped build the artist later made the court leak more dangerous. On October 8, 2020, Baltimore police were called to a hospital at about 7:15 in the evening. A 35-year-old woman had arrived with gunshot wounds and died shortly afterward. Contemporaneous reporting said investigators traced the shooting to the 4300 block of Brames Lane, where the victim had been sitting inside a parked vehicle. A Baltimore homicide tracker later identified her as Lakeisha Bell. The first report did not publicly identify who transported her. It did not name a suspect or announce a motive. Ambush later told off the porch that he drove his fiancée to the hospital after she was shot.
When I took my girl to the hospital, I got locked up because I had hella shit going on already. And they locked me up. So when I got locked up,
that statement links his personal account to the incident, but it must remain his account. It should not be rewritten as a police finding. Bell's death is not a bridge for speculation about who fired or why. It is a documented homicide and a human loss. The public record review for this draft establishes the date, location, and reported circumstances. It does not publicly identify the shooter or a motive. The difference between evidence and rumor becomes even more important from this point forward. Online stories try to fill gaps that the public record did not answer. This film will not treat those stories as proof. Ambush's public life also included confrontations with other artists. The Off the Porch episode summary specifically identifies a back and forth with Aunt Glizzy as one topic of the interview. A public argument can explain reputation, pressure, and audience perception.
Aunt Glizzy, man. Nothing. I don't know him. I don't know him at all.
It cannot establish a criminal motive by itself. That rule separates context from accusation. Music, interviews, and social media show what the public could see. Police reports, official filings, and reliable contemporaneous reporting establish what the documentary can state as fact. Everything else must be labeled according to what it is. On October 15, 2024, the Baltimore City State's Attorney's Office announced that a grand jury had indicted Cornell Moore on 41 counts and Keith Russell on 37. The charges included participation in a criminal gang, first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, firearm offenses, conspiracy, and related counts. Prosecutors alleged that the two men participated in a murder-for-hire enterprise operating in Baltimore and elsewhere in Maryland. According to the state's attorney's office, members were allegedly paid to commit violence, use stolen or carjacked vehicles, and move money through business entities, bank accounts, and payment applications to avoid detection. Those are prosecution allegations. Moore and Russell are presumed innocent of unresolved charges unless and until guilt is proven in court. The announcement named 7 homicide victims: David Reed, Shabro Meredith, Rashad Dendy, Tyree Davis, Tavon Scott, Yamel Montague, and Angel Smith. Each name points to a separate death, a separate date, and a separate family. The documented incidents existed before prosecutors later alleged that the killings belonged to one enterprise. David Reed Jr. was 32. Contemporaneous reporting placed his shooting in the 2400 block of East Preston Street at about 1:17 in the morning on October 3, 2020. He later died at a hospital. The official indictment uses the spelling David Reed. Material circulated online has also used David Reed. That spelling difference must remain visible rather than silently merging two records. Shabro Meredith was 29. Baltimore police reported that he was shot in the 1800 block of North Smallwood Street on September 14, 2021, and pronounced dead at the scene. A later police arrest release includes a photograph of Cornell Moore. That image is not Meredith and must never be assigned to the victim. Rashad Dendy was 31. Baltimore witness reported that officers found him unresponsive in the 1300 block of Gilmore Avenue shortly after 3 in the afternoon on December 2nd, 2021. He died at a hospital. Tyree Davis was 26. Reporting places the shooting on North Fremont Avenue at about 2:28 in the afternoon on February 8, 2022. One source describes the 1200 block, another reports the nearby 1300 block. The small address discrepancy is part of the record, not something to conceal. Tavon Scott was 43. Later reporting described a daylight drive-by shooting in the 1900 block of Ewald Avenue in Dundalk. Some coverage dates the police response to March 3rd, 2022. Other reporting says the shooting occurred March 2nd and that Scott died nearly a day later. Because the published accounts differ, both dates remain visible in the chronology. Yamel Montague was 37 and Angel Smith was 38. On May 12, 2022, they were shot inside a parked vehicle in the 300 block of East 23rd Street. Montague was pronounced dead. Smith, who was 7 months pregnant, underwent an emergency delivery and later died. Contemporary reporting said their newborn was initially in critical condition. That final case drew public grief before it became part of the later indictment. The prosecution's 2024 announcement connected all 7 deaths to the alleged enterprise, but the incident reporting exists independently of that accusation. When a verified photograph cannot be located, an official record, date, and location can preserve a victim's identity without inventing a face. The legal status is not identical across every case. In March 2026, CBS Baltimore reported that a jury found Keith Brian Russell guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and firearm use in connection with Tavon Scott's death. Russell received a sentence of life plus 45 years. That reported conviction resolves the Baltimore County prosecution concerning Scott. It does not automatically prove every unresolved count in the separate Baltimore City indictment, and it does not erase the presumption of innocence attached to those remaining allegations. For Tavon Scott's count, the reported status is conviction and sentence. The other enterprise counts remain allegations, not findings of guilt, unless the court record changes before publication. By July 2026, the court case had moved into another kind of danger. CBS Baltimore and the Baltimore Banner reported that documents under a protective order had been posted online. The reporting identified Keith Ambush, Wyanese Sosa, as an expected witness cooperating with prosecutors. The 5 screenshots supplied to this documentary appear to show pages from an interview summary dated February 10, 2026. They contain names, identifications, short descriptions, and serious accusations. Existing redactions remain in place. The pages also carry a visible credit to the channel that circulated them. This documentary is showing the screenshots exactly as supplied, with the existing redactions intact. We have not independently authenticated the underlying paperwork. One visible entry attributes the words "that's me" to Keith Ambush beside a name. Other entries purport to record whether he recognized people and what he allegedly said about them. The film will not fill in blacked out names, infer hidden text, or repeat a listed accusation as fact. After the leak, social media users applied labels such as rat and snitch. Those labels describe the online reaction. They are not the narrator's finding and not proof of what happened in any homicide. One viewer wrote, "All I can say about this, it's easier for PPL to speak on a situation than to be that person that's in that situation."
No.
That response does not settle the case.
Hold on. Facts. It is so many dudes in the comments, women in the comments on Instagram, IG. Man, I don't care. I don't care where they at. YouTube, bro. Y'all never been booked or had y'all life on the line for nothing. I'm not saying if he did snitch, it's right. Please do not get that confused. But what I'm saying, bro, y'all don't got no right to fucking speak on nothing if you ain't never been in no type of situation where your life was on the line. Because y'all would tell. 99% of y'all was tell. I was booked for a tech murder before. I didn't say anything. Not saying I knew nothing. All I'm saying is I didn't say anything. They asked me about this person. I said, man, I'm my own man. Like, you all had to ask that person about what's going on. And that was the end of that. Like, they just told me you face of life, and I thought they was playing. Whole time they was serious. But I'm saying this, bro, I was in this situation, so I know how I feel, bro. And like, Man, a lot of y'all before, bro, y'all not built. Y'all not built like that. I don't know why y'all be speaking in these comments. This was y'all, 99% of these dudes, these rappers, all these fake gangsters, nigga, I don't care if they got bodies in the streets, whatever. When them jail doors closed and them locks on your ankles and on your damn arms and you go into that courtroom not knowing if you ever come home, y'all would have told. I'm telling y'all, y'all not built like that. Keep that internet, bro. A lot of y'all not built like that. But I'm hearing it, but I'm gonna have to watch another video. I'm gonna drop another video soon. We're gonna finish this out. But it ain't really telling me what he said. I don't know if I wasn't listening or I was doing something, if they said something what he said, but I still don't know if he told a snitch. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it sounded like he snitched because he knew these people and he had something to do with these people. If that's the case, then yeah, he snitched. But I had to never watch another video for DTT because it's just telling me about what's going on. It's not telling me how he knew these people. What relationships did these people have? Like, I mean, it sounded like he snitched though. It sounded like he snitched. I will say that. So stop saying that like I'm taking up, bro. I don't know what's going on. I'm figuring out myself right now. Let's finish this video though.
Case, it does identify the human pressure created when protected material becomes entertainment. At a hearing reported by CBS in the banner, the judge focused on how the protected material escaped and why it lacks safeguards such as a watermark. The larger point was not internet gossip, it was safety. When an expected witness is publicly identified, the consequences can reach the witness, relatives, defendants, attorneys, investigators, and the family still waiting for answers. The leak also complicates how the public sees the case. It tempts viewers to treat an interview summary as a verdict, an accusation as a proven event, or an online insult as evidence. None of those shortcuts is responsible. The court record must decide the unresolved charges. The verified incident reports preserve the dates and the names. The victims' families live with consequences that continue beyond a news cycle. One viewer described why he left the street life. Not only for his own freedom, he wrote, but for his wife and children. That is where this story ends, not with a label, but with the cost that spreads outward. 7 homicide victims were named in the indictment. One related county prosecution has reached a reported conviction and sentence. Other charges remain allegations, and the leak that exposed an expected witness created a new danger before the upcoming courtroom testimony could even be heard. For the full sourced case file, verified dates, court status updates, and exclusive documentary breakdowns, visit Top Trend Report TV.
Shout out to bro who did the video. I gotta look more into this. It doesn't really tell me a lot. I didn't hear a lot about the relationships, how he knew these people, what was going on. I did not hear about it. So it sounded like he snitched, but I want to like hear more detail to get my full opinion on it because I really don't got a full opinion other than like, man, Baltimore is a real dangerous city. Like if you can make it out of Baltimore, you can make it anywhere. So I recommend if you is in the streets, bro, and you still free, bro, get out the streets, get away from them people. Because when it gets here, bro, it ain't no turning back, bro. It ain't no turning back. And everybody gangster until they with dudes that live to be gangster every day. Every day you gotta be gangster. It ain't nothing else to do. And you around men. And any man that wanna be around more men, you know what they is. I ain't even gotta speak on that. The ones sagging their pants and all that. I used to think that was cool, man. You know what that mean. You want the men in there. All right, that's it. So if you ain't on that timing, bro, get out of there, bro. Because these dudes pumping y'all head up with all this gangster. These dudes is liking men. All right, that's all it is. These dudes ain't nothing that they saying and tough. It's good to know how to use your dark energy, you feel me, and stand on your ground, be masculine, you feel me, be a man, but it's being stupid and it's being intelligent. And this is the voice of intelligence. We ain't never speaking on being stupid. So if you're in the streets and you still free, get out of it before you get to this, bro, because there ain't no turning back. I love y'all. I'll be dropping content consistently and daily. And I will be dropping another one of these videos speaking on one of these because I want to hear the full story in the relationships. So I get my full opinion. You will.